Hercules is a popular myth adapted into several films, and perhaps the most famous adaptation was Disney's animated hit from 1997. However, Hercules is rarely told properly. Here is the true story of Hercules. The son of Zeus and Alcmene, Hercules was blessed with supernatural strength from birth. When he was a baby, Zeus's wife Hera tried to have Zeus killed because he reminded her of Zeus's affair. Hera sent 2 snakes into Hercules' crib, expecting them to strangle the child. However, Hercules usurped both snakes by the throat, choking them to death. He didn't seem to fear anything. Hera, not relenting, took a new approach. When Hercules was a young man, she cursed him, making him temporarily insane. During his manic episode, Hercules murdered his wife and children. When he sobered up and returned to normal, he realized what he had done. Crippled by guilt, Hercules wanted justice and healing for his soul. He sought out Apollo, asking him to punish Hercules for what he has done. Apollo knew that Hercules was not responsible for his manic episode. However, he obliged Hercules, giving him a path forward to justice and healing. Apollo told Hercules to perform 12 labors for the Mycenaean king Eurystheus. If he completed the 12 labors, Hercules would be absolved of his guilt and made immortal. Hercules' first trial was to defeat the Nemean lion, which was terrorizing Nemea Hills. The lion was a mythical beast, much more powerful than ordinary lions. However, the creature was no match for Hercules, who cornered the lion in his own cave to kill him. After defeating the brute, Hercules wore the lion's fur as a trophy. His second trial was to defeat the 9-headed Hydra underwater. The serpent-like creature was a terrifying monster that guarded the entrance to the underworld. Partnering with Lolos, Hercules dove into the water to slay the Hydra. Lolos carried a torch, so whenever Hercules would raise one of the Hydra heads to cut it off, Lolos would swoop in to quickly sear the wound to prevent 2 more heads from growing back. The battle went on for a while, but after several hours, the Hydra collapsed into the water, headless. The third trial was a search and rescue mission. The goddess Diana lost her favorite pet, a crimson deer with golden antlers and bronze hooves. It was known as the Golden Hind. After finding and returning the precious pet to Diana, Hercules moved on to his 4th mission. He had to capture a wild boar. The boar was known for eating people who lived near the mountain. Hercules was expected to return the boar to King Eurystheus alive, so he did just that. Snaring the boar, he took the fierce creature and threw him over his shoulder, staining his back with the blood from the boar's wound. The king was shocked and horrified at the sight of the boar, not expecting Hercules to be successful. The 5th labor for Hercules was humiliating and thought to be impossible. He was expected to clean out all the manure from King Augeas' stables. The stables were so big and so caked in manure that the task was not only revolting, but difficult. However, Hercules easily tackled this job by flooding the barn with river water, washing out the manure from the stables. The 6th task was another labor that required some aid. Hercules was expected to scare away carnivorous birds devouring the people of Stymphalos. Athena granted Hercules magical bronze noisemakers designed to scare away the birds. As you might assume from Hercules' track record so far, he succeeded. The 7th labor required Hercules to chase away the Cretan bull back to Eurystheus. This is the same bull that slept with Pasiphae, leading to the birth of the Minotaur. I actually have a video on the Minotaur that you should go check out. The 8th trial was another capture mission. Hercules had to capture 4 man-eating horses belonging to the Thracian king Diomedes. In Greek mythology, there were a lot of man-eating animals terrorizing everyday people that Hercules had to take care of. He was, yet again, successful. Hercules, for his 9th trial, had to steal a belt from the Amazon queen Hippolyta. Originally, Hippolyta was just going to give the belt to Hercules to help him complete his trials. However, Hera, still conniving to ruin Hercules' lives, started a rumor that he intended to kidnap the queen, not just take her belt. Paranoia arose within Hippolyta, who ordered for Hercules to be killed. Battling with the Amazon women, Hercules fought his way through their ranks, tearing them apart, eventually reaching Hippolyta. Raising his sword, he slew her dead, then stole the belt from her corpse. What could have ended peacefully had to turn bloody from a devious rumor. The 10th trial may have been one of the most difficult trials. Hercules had to steal cattle from the six-legged and three-headed monster Geryon. Geryon was a giant who loved his cattle. He had plenty of guard dogs and herders. When Hercules reached the cattle, the guard dog and some of the herdsmen jumped into action to protect the livestock. Hercules killed them easily, but the commotion garnered the attention of Geryon. Charging after Hercules with several shields, helmets, and weapons, Geryon hoped to slay the cattle thief. Dipping one of his arrows into the virulent blood of the Hydra, Hercules shot the arrow into the forehead of Geryon, killing the monster. Which meant, of course, that he won the cattle for himself. The 11th trial gave Hercules the opportunity to frustrate Hera. Hercules needed to steal her wedding gift to Zeus, a bunch of golden apples guarded by nymphs. With the help of a couple titans, he managed to pull off this feat. Finally, his last labor was to wrestle Cerberus into submission and capture him. The battle was a furious one, filled with snarls, snapping teeth, and incredible muscle. But eventually Hercules managed to throw Cerberus into the ground, conquering the giant beast. Don't worry, Cerberus lovers, he wasn't killed and eventually returned to his post to guard Hades. So is that it? Did Hercules achieve immortality and live a fruitful life? Well, kind of, but not really the way many may imagine. After a few more journeys, such as fighting over the control of Mount Olympus and rescuing a princess from Troy, Hercules got married a second time to a woman named Deianira. Like most gods, Hercules wasn't the most faithful husband, and like most Greek stories, an egomaniac tried to take advantage of a woman. A centaur named Nessus attempted to rape Deianira. Hercules stopped him by shooting a poisoned arrow at the brute. While dying, the centaur realized his blood also became poisonous, and he told Deianira if she took his blood and gave it to Hercules, he would forever be faithful to her. For some reason, she believed the centaur who moments earlier tried to assault her. She ended up taking some of his blood as he offered it. Years later, word got around that Hercules may be cheating on Deianira. Pulling out the blood of Nessus, Deianira poured it on Hercules' lionskin shirt. Unsurprisingly, this blood didn't make Hercules faithful, rather it burned his skin. The burn was so terrible, Hercules threw himself into a funeral pyre to die. And like any good Greek tragedy, Deianira was so bereaved by this, she took her own life. Legend has it from this point onward, Hercules no longer lived among men, and lived rather with the gods in the heavens. And that is the true story of Hercules. Subscribe for more legendary tales.